right, guys. So tonight I asked you guys to come on with me, and we're going to talk about making the transition to competitive. I asked you guys, and for those of you guys who don't know, this is Clappy1984, Agent Eggroll, Polygon Wizard. These are my leadership team of the Xbox Company 008 platoon, and aside from being, strangers, 2 months ago, guys? Something
Pretty
like
much.
that. Yeah,
I think about May 15th.
I meant to look back at my video, and I forgot to look. So, man, yeah, all right, so more than that. But, and you guys have been there since day one, pretty much. They've no joke, flat out, complete strangers, and they started playing together a lot and having a good time. But eventually they seem to have gotten the itch, and like all of us have been playing the hell out of Battlefield 3. They're looking for a new challenge, new stimulation. So they started looking competitive. We'll get into why that is a little later. So I thought some people out there might be interested in hearing what they went through, what they thought about it, the reactions, experience, advice, things like that, in case you're thinking about doing the same thing. I know I always am, but I just can't get off the fence. So, I mean, literally from a perspective of three guys, but there's a lot more behind them that didn't know anything about each other, and they started playing together and growing as a team, I guess you could say, and then going to playing, no joke, probably the best team on Xbox, a couple weeks ago. So it's quite an arc, and I've enjoyed watching it, so I hope you guys have had a good time doing it. So I just figured it'd be interesting to kind of get us all together and do a little sit-down, kind of a roundtable discussion, kind of a pub feel, guys sitting around with my crickets, right? That we're all drinking beers around the campfire. I don't know if Clappy, you were here for that originally. So yeah, we're just gonna have a casual conversation. Feel free to interrupt. Don't be worried about moderator or all that crap. And we're just gonna talk about some things. I got a list of questions I showed you a little bit, so hopefully you gave some thought to it. And I don't know, Clappy, I'm sure you had some other things going on, but.
Yeah, I'm good though.
So yeah, why don't you guys just take a second to kind of introduce yourselves, say hello, and then we'll get on with it. So I guess we'll start with Polly.
Hi, I'm Polygon Wizard.
And Eggroll.
I'm Agent Eggroll, and half the stories you've heard about me are true, and the other half are complete lies.
The other half you don't remember.
There you go.
The other half are still true.
Yeah, you just don't remember them. And Clappy.
Yeah, I'm Clappy1984, and I'm pretty much the James Bond of the group.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, throwing it down.
Humble, and he's very humble.
Very much so.
All right, guys. So I guess the first obvious question is what made you? What drove you to make the transition? What made you start thinking about, hey, this might be something we want to do? Because you guys kind of came up with this on your own. I really had nothing to do with it.
Pub stomping got boring.
Yeah.
We needed a bit more of a challenge, and we decided to try and start seeking out other platoons to see if we were any good, actually.
Yeah, see, as good as you thought you were, basically, right?
Yeah,
because when you're playing in a pub, getting several people on a team working together, you're going to do pretty well, even if you're not that good. So, we wanted to get a little bit of an extra challenge and, just challenge ourselves, see what we could get, get going and see what we could kind of, how high we could climb, I guess.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that was basically the idea behind it. Was obviously we played together for a while, and we'd become so used to we could win it on just teamwork, not using our gun skill, if you knew what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to push ourselves and be tested in all areas of the game.
Well, remember, we could actually go in and win using nothing but pistols against a team, with full assault kits, all that stuff. No problem.
Just by communicating. That's it.
Exactly.
That's all we would difference was just communication. So
yeah, the power of the team. I mean, give Dice. I give them a lot of grief, but in that regards, they definitely did make a team play. Team plays OP. Communication's OP basically,
definitely.
And they did that right. There's a lot of other things we might disagree about as far as Dice design, but that definitely is they did hit a home run there. So.
Definitely.
So basically, I mean, you wanted to see if, like I said, you're as good as you think you are. You want to see how far can we get away with this before someone puts us in our place, so to speak. And yeah, I was sitting there and I was interested because I was like, these guys, they've been, haven't been playing that long. No offense to any one of you, but none of you stands out as like the beast, like notable aardvark or those guys that I've played against,
Yeah.
But I like that. I like the fact that you're all kind of like me. I don't claim to be anything special. You're all the guys that have no problem playing a role when it's called for. There's no prima donnas, things like that. So I was very curious to see how this would work out. And I mean, you had your first match. First I'm going to ask, like, how did it feel right before that? First time ever doing it. Did
I was
you have
nervous.
some jitters? Yeah, I mean, because I know I was.
We were nervous, and I think we were coming up with a few different strategies on what we had to do. And all of a sudden, it's just like, you know what? All this stuff, it's gonna not really matter in the end. As long as we're communicating well, we know how each other play, we know everyone's strengths, and then paired everyone into squads that really made everyone the best that they could be, and just kind of went from there. And for us, it worked out really well on our first match.
Yeah, definitely. We played really good in that game as well, and it was just, like I said earlier, all about communication more than anything.
Because there was definitely players on the other team that were like a notable aardvark type of stuff, but because we communicated and worked so well together, we overcame that no problem.
Yeah. Polly, how do you think going into that first one?
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, I was a little bit nervous. It's kind of like, you're getting ready for a sports match or something, or, kind of the same kind of feeling, but not too bad because, we played quite a bit just together a lot, so I knew we were going to do all right at the very least. So, yeah, the first sort of round was a little bit of breaking off of jitters, and then after that, we just kind of got pretty much, in the groove and did our thing.
Yeah, see, because like you said, I equate it to sports, and I've never really done the competitive thing. We're trying to get it ramped up on PC. We're kind of following your blueprint, frankly. But yeah, I always, every team I played, you hit that first game, you're like, I think we're good, but I have no idea. And you get through that first quarter, and you're like, yeah, we're legit. Like, okay. Your ego starts to inflate a little bit, and you get a little more comfortable, and then the real team, then your real play comes out, and it's like that with any match. I mean, to different degrees. Once you get settled into the flow, you're fine, but it's getting in there. But I would have been terrified, frankly. Having none of you guys ever done it before. You don't know anything really about the other team. You don't really know their reputation. How did that come about? Like, did they contact you?
That's Clappy.
Yeah.
It was, at the time, it was Slinky. I don't know how he got in contact with them.
Probably.
But he did, and he arranged it all, just told us, and we were like, fine. Crack on with it, basically.
So had you guys even thought about it before that, or was he like, here, I got this proposition, sounds like fun?
I think it'd been mentioned. We talked about it.
All of us.
As far as I'm concerned, no. Like, the first time I ever heard about it was when he brought it. I was like, hey, we were talking to these guys. Would you guys be interested in playing? And that was kind of the first I had heard about it.
It was also the first I heard, was it on the forums, or I don't remember exactly, but I was like, oh, okay. Because I was always monitoring you guys. Maybe it was on Battlelog at that point, right? Probably was.
Yeah,
probably.
I think it was Battlelog.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, cool. And that's why I was like, I don't know if didn't even know at the time if you guys would be interested. So it was curious. It was interesting to see you guys attack it, literally. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, at first it was kind of just like a why not,
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you're looking for a new challenge. You're looking for it's almost like a new game mode. It's like and
it definitely makes you need to think harder. That's what I enjoy about it, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I like Battlefield, because you have to think.
Yeah.
Being in Call of Duty, you can get away with that crap of just, I'm lone wolfing it, I'm fine, I can hold a team. Battlefield, if you're really, really good, you can hold a team, but especially in competitive, no. 2-3 guys working together will stomp you.
Yeah, I agree. You can hold the team together as a solo guy, but you can't propel a team to win as a solo guy. That's how I've always said. Like, you can elevate a team, but you're not like Call of Duty. You literally win a match by yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So, go ahead.
I think Notable can do that. I think he can win a match by himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly guys that are gonna make it a little easier, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't think they really can. I mean, against a competent pub-stomping, sure, but
yeah.
Against, at least, like you said, you don't have to be the greatest gun skill guys, but some people that at least know the game. You're not going to get away with a lot of that stuff. So, and then nothing to take away from Aardvark or anybody, but God, he might as well be in the show, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you're through the first match, or the first, you've now you popped your cherry, so to speak, and you've done it. What's the biggest surprise you guys each had from now you've got one match under your belt? What was the biggest thing that stood out to you guys?
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it was almost like the adrenaline rush straight afterwards. I was thinking, we got to do this again.
Yeah, definitely. You had that adrenaline rush from, doing this kind of thing that you've built up for a while, and, it's like, how well are we going to do? And then you get into it, and we did really, really well in the first round, and then we played, 4 different maps that first sort of mapped up, and, we did very well on each one, so I was like, wow, we did really, really well. I want to do more of that,
Yeah.
Right. Now, just as a barometer, you were supposed to play that team again, but you didn't, right? It fell through or it got rescheduled, so you didn't get to play.
Yeah, they postponed.
All right, but it just never happened for whatever reason. Okay, I was just.
Well, what ended up happening was they had a few different platoons, and we played their I'm familiar with baseball, so we played their AAA minor team.
Okay.
And then their legit competition team. We were supposed to play them, which isn't to say that
sure.
The platoon that we played, they're very good, but this is their elite team was up there. They do competitive stuff and all that, and it fell through with them.
Right, because they didn't know who you guys were anyway either, so they were just who did? I didn't know who you guys were, But yeah, I don't. And right, I'm just curious, and obviously now there's no surprise anymore. Each of you know who you are, and I would have been curious to see how they came at you, especially from a strategic point. So that would have been kind of interesting. So then, obviously, I didn't do this in the questions, but we have to speak about it. So you had an offer. You guys were eager to learn. You're feeling good. You're coming off a high. Maybe we should have gotten a couple other matches in between. But obviously, the whole idea is to learn, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So we pulled some strings. We used some networking with a couple of mutual friends, and we got you guys matched up with Sons of Anarchy. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, I'll say Sons of Anarchy, I'm not that educated on the Xbox side, is the number one competitive team on Xbox in Battlefield 3. I might be wrong or not, but they are in the argument for sure.
If they're not, they're definitely top 5,
yeah,
probably
that's
top
what
3.
I mean, whether they're number 1 or not. But they're the ones I know most of, but that's, they do YouTube a little bit, so that's probably why I'm a little more aware of them. Actually, that's probably exactly why I'm aware of them, but... So yeah, it didn't go as well. We all know this. We're not gonna. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said to you guys, it was about learning, and I commended you guys just for doing it. There's plenty of teams that duck those guys. There's plenty of teams that have been playing for years that won't even get in the ring with them. So just getting in there was fine, and I think you learned a lot of respect all around with that. But what was the contrast now? You're going against, I don't want to I'm not putting down the other team, but this is, like you're saying, AAA, this is stepping up to the Yankees here. So, how did that compare and contrast to the first matchup?
In some ways, it was kind of polar opposites, and then some. And it's just as far how well we did. But then also, beforehand, we did a lot more kind of planning, working out some specific strategies of you're going to do this and you're going to do that, which we didn't really do as much the first time around. Really, it was kind of just show up and wing it. Right. So we're like, okay, we got to really get it together. We got to figure out what we're going to do. We had plans for each of the maps we we're going to do, and then within 5 seconds of starting, all those plans are pretty much out the window.
Well, no, hang on. We get into Sign Crossing.
I forgot about that.
And we go in, and we think the match is starting. We go in, we've capped 2-3 flags. We've killed a few other guys. We killed, I think, Cold Marines and Ninja. And all of us are like, wow, we can actually do something against this. Wait, maybe we can do something. Then we see round restarting in 30 seconds. And round restarted, and oh my god, I've never seen flags cap so fast.
They were just standing there, basically.
They were on 3 flags by the time we got to the first flag.
Wow.
No, they got 3 flags by the time we crossed the bridge.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But the good thing that came about it was pretty much every guy that participated in that match has at least 1 or 2 things that they came away with that they can really put up on their walls in achievement. Some guys got dog tagged. Some guys said, you know what, I killed all these guys that 99% of the communities never killed. For me, it was I stayed in the air against probably some of the best pilots on Xbox for just a hair under a minute.
No small feat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's it's one of those. Yeah, we got stomped, but everyone
came away
with
personal victories.
Yeah.
I got blown up in the tank a lot.
Do.
Well, I was proud of you guys. You seemed to come out of it hungrier. You weren't, you weren't discouraged at all.
For me, it was seeing the potential levels that you could reach. Yeah. I didn't know anyone could be that good. So actually seeing how high these levels were made me think, I can get like that. But if I actually try and push myself, I can get at least better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to stifle you guys. Like, like I said, we probably should have had a couple matches in between.
We jumped in the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you did the first time. I mean, you really didn't know what you were doing. You never played before, so you got. And you did great. So we had to go to the other section and cut you down to size, I guess, a little bit. You didn't have to go that far, but like I said, why not? And you got a lot of rep out of that. Let's be honest. I mean, you got some respect from people, and you got your name out there a little bit.
That's true. Yeah.
Right away.
I get invited by them to games now, which is quite interesting.
They're a good group of guys. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, that's why I didn't mind. There was a couple of people I might have shielded you away from or tried to direct you away. With those guys, I wasn't. I mean, we all know Puppy. Puppy's good friends with them, so that speaks enough to me. That's what I mean. I knew they wouldn't do you wrong. Even if they killed you guys, they would at least try to help you out and tell you why, what, where, and these kinds of things. So.
Half of them offered lessons in tank, jet,
awesome.
chopper, all that stuff.
Because what, from their perspective, they're just looking for people to play. Like, nobody will play them. And we all know, I mean, the Battlefield competitive scene's not really that hot anyway, but that's what it is. They're just trying to build up other teams all they want to do is fight, So.
Yeah.
All right. So now you've gone both ends of the spectrum. You've felt the highs, felt the lows, seen where you could be, kind of got a feel for where you are. What would you guys say is the biggest difference as, quote unquote competitive versus just pub stomping? Like what jumps out at you is what is the biggest difference, contrast?
Standard of players, I reckon.
Yeah.
I know that sounds a bit cruel and pub stomping, but you may come across one or two players in the pub servers that is decent, but when you come up against a whole team of them, it's a whole complete different story.
To me, it's more not necessarily the standard of players, although that's definitely true. It's more that the dynamic of the game is different because you are communicating and the whole other team is communicating with themselves against you versus just when you're in a pub, it's just, a bunch of people doing their own thing, or you might have a squad or something that you'll run into that is communicating. But when everybody on each team is talking with each other, it just tends to play out a bit differently and have a different kind of feel to it.
For me, for a basic soldier level, when you kill someone in a competition, expect to have return fire from another position. Whereas in pub stomping, if you can kill 2-3 people in a row and sit in the same spot, be totally fine.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You get that communication difference where it's not just being marked. It's a matter of they'll tell you where he's at and they'll just search you out.
Yeah, you generally have to assume you're being watched at all time. Not necessarily even spotted or marked, but you just somebody watching every avenue, things like that. I mean, would you say, probably you're talking about just awareness and communications. I would imagine it's harder to flank. It's harder to pull things like that off. There's a lot less surprise. I mean, especially on maps these days, we've played them hundreds and thousands of times, so I would say everything is probably elevated. No, I mean, it's just, and I mean, I want to say it doesn't come down to Twitch skill, but I think you just got to win your gunfights because you're not going to trick them. You're not going to outsmart them. You're not going to surprise them.
No,
it comes down to execution and communication is really what it comes down to. So,
actually, one of the biggest things I learned was there's a reason that all the guns that you see in YouTube videos and all that are popular.
Yeah.
You have to use them because my favorite weapon's the Scar L. It's got very nice accuracy, low fire rate, and that low fire rate just kills it in the competition scene.
Yeah,
I have to flip.
Yeah, there's only two weapons really worth talking of in the assault class, I think, in the competitive scene.
Oh yeah,
that's the AEK and the M16A3. Them two is all you'll really see.
Yeah, you can't handicap yourself at all because especially as a new team, you're already fighting uphill as it is. So yeah, you gotta try to get level ground anywhere you can. So yeah, I agree with that. Now, was there anybody? I mean, I guess this might be SOA more. Was using kind of crazy stuff like. Did anybody get Mav killed or like something like that?
No.
They kept everything pretty above. I mean, everything that they did was really above board. I mean, you would expect to be killed by an AEK or an M16.
Yeah,
that's it.
I did have my tags taken by Anarchy Ninja. I was one of his 25,000 knife victims.
Oh yeah.
My experience in those Sons of Anarchy matches is a little different because I was sort of running the vehicle team. So my experience is maybe move a little bit, get into an engagement with them, and then be dead in a few seconds, no matter how many people were repairing me.
Concentrate fire, basically.
Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
Their vehicle had 2 dedicated repair guys that just sat there and did nothing but repair. They'd jump in the vehicle. As soon as it took fire, they'd jump out, repair, jump back in.
Yeah, that's all they're there for. They weren't competing against us, if you know what I mean. They were strictly there to watch the vehicle.
What maps you played? Sen Crossing. I know you played Carg Island. What was the You played 3, right? Didn't you?
Grand Bazaar.
Bazaar.
Yeah.
So that's why.
We took a flag against him. That's going up on the wall too.
I'm sure there's several teams that can't say that.
Yeah, it's like somehow somebody snuck through and got to the B flag, right?
It was in my squad, but I can't remember who did it. I just remember spawning in on him.
I'm sure someone will chime in the comments. Don't worry.
Oh,
yeah, I just was surprised when I saw that we capped it because I was just trying to get out of deployment.
Oh yeah.
Yep. They like to keep you there.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you really wish that, I mean, again, I don't want to be negative, but they said they were going to support competitive before the game came out. I really wish they would have, because I would love to see them matched up with just another team on their level. It would be amazing. It really would be.
Yeah, it would be great fun to watch that sort of level of play.
With a spectator mode, and it's there. That's what kills me.
That's the thing.
Definitely.
All of the building blocks are there.
Yeah,
they just need to implement it. I think if they had the matches thing put in at launch, it would have been a bit better, and it wouldn't be as.
It couldn't have hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as, I don't want to say dead, but
it is.
Yeah.
Have you guys used it at all? I've never even looked at it. I mean, I'm sure I'm not a competitive guy, but I haven't even. Curiosity hasn't even gotten better at me,
The Sons of Anarchy game was set up via the match system.
Oh yeah? Okay, cool. I didn't even know that. Because I've watched videos when it first came out, and it was to not great fanfare. Let's put it at that.
Yeah. I've never knowingly set it up as a match and played a match via it. Only on the SOA games, any time I've ever used it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about it.
Usually Clappy does anything involving setting matches and stuff up. Me and Polly kind of tag team on strategy and all that other type of stuff. We just kind of have our own little roles that we haven't really set up,
developed.
but we just kind of fell into.
Just sort of, fell into it that way.
Yeah, that's how I got here too. So, all right. So stepping outside of that, then let's head back towards the whole point. We're kind of doing this, seeing the person that might be thinking about this, maybe not Battlefield 3, but looking forward. But what was the best advice you would give a player, starting the transition, both as a player and then as kind of a squad mentality kind of thing? Like, what would you tell them to work on? Like, they're pub stomping now. They're looking towards getting into competitive. What should they focus on?
As a player, mostly their accuracy and getting used to the assault class. Let's be honest. Yep. There's like two, maybe three classes in competition that are actually viable. That's assault engineer on a vehicle map, and then maybe a recon to set a spawn beacon down. That's once in a while. Support you're never going to see ever.
No. That's so true. So you need to be efficient with the classes basically and the weapons.
Yeah. And in more of like a squad level, it's just getting it's hard to really do it, but just playing together and getting that chemistry. Yeah. That one guy can flank right, and then automatically the other guy's going straight or covering him without anything being said. I watch the mini map a lot to see that, and I see that happening a lot for 008 guys, and nothing's really said or just one or two words saying, "Hey, I'm looking right," and it just happens.
Yeah, that definitely. I have that with some of the guys I play a lot with on PC. You just know, he likes to flank, he likes to go straight up, you just know. So yeah, definitely. The only thing that's going to do that is time in the seat. That's the only thing that's going to get you there. Like you said, it's the chemistry is also communication, call outs. You just got to be on the same page. I guess it would pretty much.
Call outs are massively important. Yeah. I would say that's one thing you really need to get done.
And that's something you can do without playing, which is a great advantage. Like if you can't get time on the sticks, you can be watching YouTube videos. You can be looking at and that's what you should be doing, because when you're in the game, you need to be playing, working on your accuracy, that kind of thing.
You say communication is well and good, and you got to be communicating, but that also is, you got to be communicating fast, which is where the call-outs really come in to play, because if you don't have something specific to say that you can snap off really quick and everyone knows what it is, then there's going to be some fumbling or, just not knowing exactly where, what you're trying to say is. So the call-outs definitely are important.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a difference between chatting and communicating, for sure, yeah.
Well, and one tip that we use, I got two things. One is for communication, it's easier to have one guy per squad in team chat, and then him relaying orders down to his squad, Because otherwise what happened in one of our matches was we had everyone in the same chat, and one or two guys started getting a little anxious, and that spread throughout the entire team.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot better than we were, and it didn't sound like that on comms. Everyone was all stressed out.
Oh, the first one, the comms were a mess.
And
just everyone was shouting and over each other.
Yeah,
definitely felt like chaos.
Right, but that would also come with more experience, more confidence.
Definitely.
And you know, if you got to, you remove that guy. I mean, this is competitive. It happens.
It definitely set up that way to start with, and then, you know, if you get more used to it, you could maybe then eventually have everyone on comms.
Right, yeah.
But starting that way, it's kind of a good kind of stopgap, I guess.
But as a noob coming in also, if you're not the best Slayer or anything out there, it doesn't matter. You need guys that will help res people, keep people, you know, under suppression, all that. Just because you don't have the greatest KD does not mean that you can't go into competition.
That's so true as well.
Yeah, see, that's what I love. I mean, I guess about your whole, you guys are making fun of me, the 008 story, is that, like I said, none of you guys are rival X Factor. You know, it's kind of, you're all willing to do whatever it takes at any given time. And that's kind of how I've modeled my channel as well. So that's why I'm definitely proud of you guys in that regard. And I got to, again, give nice little credit that, that guy that's not the Slayer, not the quickest reflexes, can be a huge asset to his team. Both, I mean, and that goes for in public too, but that it translates to competitive is pretty cool.
The guy that makes the biggest difference isn't the guy that's out there slaying. It's the guy that's sitting undercover waiting for his entire squad to spawn so that they can go out and flank.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because, I mean, I've gotten that. I've been doing a lot of squad rush lately, which, you know, we're not doing competitively, but we're doing it at a high level. And it's all about staying alive. I mean, that's really what it's more. It's more about staying alive than it's getting kills. It really is.
I tip my hat to you. That's a lot harder than Conquest. That's, I don't know, because every life matters a bit more.
It's different.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah, but you can have more impact because there's only 4 of you, which I like. You know, like you said.
I really enjoy Squad Rush. Me and Polly played at an epic boosh. The 4 of us played against Puppy, and he got a few guys together, and we had some Squad Rush games.
Including one of the Anarchy guys was in there, right?
Yeah, Anarchy Devour.
Yes, that's right. I did hear about this.
It was at Puppy, Time Itself, and Apex Enigma. So, I mean, they were good. And,
I was going to say, that's a pretty good squad.
Yeah, it was really good fun, though.
Yeah, really once we kind of got our jitters worked out a little bit, we started doing, you know, not well enough to win or anything, but we had some small victories in there, like getting stuff armed, like some epic almost defenses and things.
Yeah, well, it's a very different game.
Yeah, we were just very close to doing it, but, you know, they played that mode a whole lot more than we are and just kind of overpowered us through.
Yeah.
But again, you're basically fighting like God.
Yeah.
I know Puppy's
we were in that game.
So because you do have to know what you're doing. The tactics and strategies are very different. Now, do you guys see any of that maybe for you guys? I mean, maybe joining a ladder with Squad Rush or something like that?
There's murmurs. We may get something going.
With your numbers, it should be easy to field the team.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I really love Squad Rush. I've been really getting into it. So
it's a damn shame that YouTube doesn't really want to watch it, but I think it's great.
It's such fun.
Yeah.
It's the most tactical mode there is.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's why they probably don't want to watch it as much, because there's not as many, you know, big epic kill streaks or giant explosions going on. It's a lot more
I think everybody says PTFO, but when it comes down to it, they don't want to see it. They just say it because they think they're supposed to.
Well, I see so many people screaming PTFO that are sitting there, you know, in the back with a recon class just sniping or just doing nothing, you know. And they're sitting here, guys, arm, all that. What are you doing? I'm slaying. Arm.
I love the Slayer. Dude, I'm the Slayer. I'm supposed to be up here spawn trapping.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other discussion. So
you're spawn trapping, but there's no one in their spawn. What do you think?
But they're arming behind us, exactly. So aside from advice, now that, you know, you guys haven't done it in a little while now, I know some things have been postponed and pushed back, and it's been summertime, but how do you think overall it's changed your game? Like, do you go back to pub stomping now? And, I mean, do you notice a little, like, do you play differently? You think differently? Are your KDs going up? I don't know, but...
I would say we tend to play against each other a lot more.
Yeah,
I don't know if these guys agree, but I generally think we're now beginning to sort of... If we'll have 12 of us on a server, and it'll be 6 on each team. That's the way we started to play now. Well, I can't remember the last time we filled us all up on one team and just went and walked over a pub. We haven't done that in ages. So we're trying to compete against a stronger level of people, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like pub stomping's, it's boring because we literally have to, it's not a matter of if we're going to spawn, like get them in their spawn and trapped.
Right.
It's a matter of we now actually have to pull back and trap, like quote unquote, trap them at their gimme flag.
Right.
Just to keep them interested.
Yeah, no, that's a tough. Well, I've done a lot of videos, and there's been a lot of talk about that. Yeah, it's tough to manage, really.
Yeah,
just on a more personal level, I find myself using cover a lot more than I used to before.
Yeah.
All that started going, because it's just I'm thinking differently. Like I gotta go from this cover to this cover to this cover, whereas before I might just like run straight down the hallway.
You'll do that a lot more now that you're on PC too. That's a big difference. You'll see.
Sure. For sure, I found that out a little bit. Yes.
But it's the same idea. It's SOA is just a lot more accurate than the average pub, but where you get the PC and those guys are on average more accurate, so you have to use cover a lot more. So
exactly, and they're so good with headshots. I mean, their ratio of headshots is crazy. It must be 9 out of 10 kills are headshots.
They're so freaking accurate. I've never literally spawned and like 200-300 meters away, just getting tagged with a headshot, no problem.
I know, it's like you want to accuse them of something, but their rep is good.
Yeah, and then I look at their gun and it's like AEK 4-grip heavy barrel.
Yeah.
Like, and iron sights. It's like,
and they're all up at 29% accuracy.
That's
with an AEK, and you're thinking, that's crazy. That's twice mine.
I don't even have that with a knife. I miss more with a knife than they do with their M16.
Yeah, they're crazy.
So, all right, we're moving on to. Did somebody else have something to add? I don't.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say you're moving on to your next game. Who knows what that's gonna be? Whether it's gonna be Medal of Honor Warfighter, Battlefield 4, 2143, whatever they come out with. Who knows? So, do you guys think you're gonna be looking for that, competitive itch kind of thing?
Depends on the game and how many people get it. I don't know how many platoon members are getting Medal of Honor.
I am.
Well,
I definitely am. There's one.
I think what we're gonna do is see what happens over the life of of Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are really excited about Armored Kill, so hopefully that kind of picks everything back up. But
that's what I'm hoping.
Honestly, I think we're just waiting until the next installment of Battlefield.
Well, for me,
we'll
that's
definitely be more
what it
active
is
on Battlefield 4, I think.
Battlefield is kind of my FPS,
me too.
That series. Like, I've dabbled a little bit in some of the other ones, but FPS just in general isn't what I play all the time, usually, so it's just like this one particular flavor of it because of the vehicles. I'm a big vehicle guy, which I know a lot of the other people in 008 and you yourself, Kulprit, aren't as big on vehicles, but that's kind of what drew me into the series.
I enjoy them being there, though.
Yeah, and even if you don't get in them, if you're on a vehicle map, just the fact that they're there makes things completely, different, and
I appreciate
adds unpredictability and things that you wouldn't have if they weren't there.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, but I mean, not just and Paulo, you went there, not just as a platoon level, but a personal level. Like, let's just say 008 disbands and you're in your next game. Would you seek out the competitive kind of competition?
I would definitely, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it depends on how good I felt I was at the game. I'd definitely have that first period to get used to the game and just kind of mess around with it myself. And if it was something I felt like I had a lot of fun with and wanted to go that far, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't jump in it right away because, part of the reason that I've enjoyed it so much on Battlefield is because I really love the game and I spend so much time with it. But if it's a game I kind of just halfway enjoy, I'm not going to really want to push myself that far because it's definitely kind of a commitment to it that if you're not going to enjoy the game on a base level, you're not going to enjoy trying to do it the competitive as much either.
I'm kind of going to go against the grain. I probably wouldn't, only due to time constraints. I'm familiar with this. I'm familiar with a lot of the 008 guys. I like competing with them. But if I had to go and seek out a new competitive team, I probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
That would definitely factor in as well for me.
Right.
We are quite tight, actually, aren't we? We've all sort of developed quite a bond between us.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing when I actually stop and think about it with how many people we actually have playing on a pretty regular basis, and we're all pretty tight across the board. And, it's hard enough to get that with just, 3 or 4 guys, let alone however 20 or whatever,
Oh, we've probably, we butt heads, but overall everyone is really tight. I mean, if two guys have an argument or something, 2 days later they're gonna be sitting there shooting the crap, just doing whatever they want on the game. We have guys that play Minecraft a ton. A bunch of different games. It just doesn't stay contained in Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. It surprised me mostly because you guys know we talk about we're figuring this out as we go. Very loosely associated group. It's a public group. Anybody can come in. Like I say, it's very easy to get in. It's very easy to get kicked out. It's an open door in. It's an open door out. But that's kind of how we're doing it right now. And for there not to be any more conflict, I know we just had a little bit of drama, but it sorted itself out very quickly, just as quickly as it flared up. But
exactly.
And that's perfect. I mean, like you said, there's gonna be butting heads. It's kind of like a fraternity in that sense. Somebody gets drunk and punches another guy. The next day they're going and getting breakfast together. It's kind of it's guys hanging out in a competitive environment, whether you're playing competitive or not. It's a tense, edgy game. It's probably good that you guys play stuff like Minecraft and things like that. So.
Well, and like a few of us have already talked about getting like Borderlands 2. I know I'm getting it, and just having
a release,
buddies. Yeah, having buddies to go and play other games with that also enjoy it, that's the biggest thing. Because, originally this platoon was created to find friends, and, we found them.
Yeah. I agree. I have games on my Steam wish list that I would never put on there, except for the fact that that would be a riot to play with so-and-so. And that would be, and I didn't know anyone. I definitely didn't know anyone on PC. I knew a couple people on Xbox, but now it's like, now I don't have enough time. It's kind of crazy. And, like I said, I wouldn't have gotten on Xbox tonight now, but I was going to say let's do an Ace Squad with the four of us and go do it, but I don't know if you heard, Clappy, my Red Ring of Death popped up again on my replacement Xbox, so... I have no luck with the Xbox, but I'm just gonna have to break down and buy a new one at some point. So whenever I do buy that new one, you guys know the 720 is coming. It'll be out like 2 months later.
That's bound to happen.
Yeah. All right. So the last question is kind of a little wild card. We're doing pretty good on time, which is surprising with you three. Do any of you guys do you guys have any kind of zany pregame rituals? And Eggroll, you take your pants off. What might it be? I don't know.
Whoa! You're assuming what pants have been on.
Well, at some point, you have to get ready.
No, you're assuming my pants have been on. You always compete better without your pants. I assume
nothing about your pants.
Sometimes I get on my try-hard sombrero and I put on my bulletproof poncho.
OP.
Yeah. Oh, dude, super OP. Yeah.
Imagine the assignment they make for.
Eggroll is a source of a lot of random things that have come up just for when we're playing a little more casually, especially if he's, drunk in Battlefield Fridays, start singing through the comms or whatever, inspiring us with rendition of I Will Survive, whatever.
It's for morale.
Yes, it's for morale, and it's great for morale, too. I definitely am one who gets much enjoyment out of it.
2 hours of Bee Gees every Friday night.
Hell yeah.
Well, we got the new flavor now, so the disco can go a little bit on the back burner for a little bit.
Dude, we got Gangnam Style. It's all good. Crazy Korean ranting overdone, with a weird music video. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I was subject to this the other night. I don't understand it, but that might just be because I'm old.
That's the point. You're not supposed to understand.
I know, but I don't understand not understanding. All right, guys.
We like to say it's the inside of Eggroll's mind. That video.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Pretty much.
Oh man. So that's pretty much wrapping up what I've got written down. If there's anything else you guys want to punch in or talk about, it's open mic. I might regret this, but.
No. I just generally think on sort of topic, I just was kind of shocked on a sort of how massive the gulf is from the very top to sort of the average sort of players, if you know what I mean. The gulf in difference is unbelievable.
Right. And meanwhile, the top of the pile to the first guys you played is even that much more elevated just from the regular public players.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Your average Joe.
Whole new level.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this whole thing is kind of giving us a nice glimpse at the cross section of the level of Battlefield players from top to bottom, kind of got a better picture from experiencing it firsthand.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I've never seen a man shot from a tank onto another tank in a spawn to steal a tank.
That was crazy.
That was
crazy. They really shot a guy across the map?
Well, he somehow got deeper than 10 seconds into our spawn and stole our tank.
Yeah, so it was. They only did it because it was right at the end of the match. There's like 30 tickets left or something, and we were going to be getting out of our spawn. But yeah, I was like repairing a tank, and then suddenly, it was an enemy tank, and it blew up in my face.
So I'm just going through. How does that work?
Well, our theory is someone jumped in front of the tank muzzle,
right? Because it's a teammate.
Yeah, and then fired it, and somehow was accurate enough to where he didn't die, and shot him like right next to the tank for him to jump in.
Oh, good God! I have to see this.
We don't know how it's done.
Just saying,
we still haven't been actually able to figure out how it's done. They might have done something completely different. Who knows? All we know is like when I was repairing the tank, suddenly there was someone in it, and it blew up when the repair tool going.
You have the repair torch is on the tank the whole time.
Yeah, because the reason I'm repairing it is their tank is shelling me, so I'm trying to keep it alive long enough to maybe do something with it.
And at some point, a man somehow got across the bridge and into the tank without you seeing it, mostly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking at the ass end of the tank.
Right.
Yeah. That was our theory.
Yeah, I'm kind of dumbfounded on that one. I don't know how that would happen aside from your theory right there. Yeah. Which seems far-fetched. I'm not going to pretend.
You know what? I don't really want to know how it was done. It's just sort of the random made-up story that we've got is almost better than what it actually would be in reality. It just can't be that good.
Yeah, they'll show you like right down to the game mechanics. And you're like, it's not that cool.
Yeah.
This is such better lore.
I guarantee you someone in the comments is going to say, you guys are dumb. This is how you do
it. I get that every video. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they'll be like, there's a ladder next to the manhole. He just, something.
Yeah.
No, it was so much cooler that he shot the Captain America guy or whatever. Yeah.
We like our made-up
Super Dave or whatever that guy was called. So.
Half our stuff's just, there's a lot of, we during competitions, we really keep it kind of focused and all that, but when it's just like random nights, 008's really screwball.
Oh yeah, we've got so many. We just got 20 different types of people, just with most of them just bizarre, sort of personalities, where we're all on the same level, and they can be some bizarre nights. The conversations can go from anything. You can think of something random, and it's not even close to what we end up talking about.
I've only been in your Skype chat for about a week, and I'm still like, God, it's just so much random stuff. Because I've been in the regular public chat. Your chat is just even further off topic. It's just like, hey, whatever. Yeah. I'm just sitting there. It's funny. I'm just
random might be a very good word for.
Because I jump in, I don't get to read more than 5. I'll just sit down. All right, what's going on? What? Cat ate what? You're like, it's just the most randomest things in the world. But like I said, I guess that's what everybody's looking to blow off steam, have fun.
Yeah,
it's a competitive itch in the end. So
that's why we have Drunken Battlefield Fridays. It's just to blow off steam. Any stupid crap that we want to do, we'll do it then. You know?
Yeah, it's usually a mix of half the people are drinking and getting more and more and trashed as you go, and then the other half are just sober but laughing so much at all the crazy antics.
Yeah, reviving us is usually what happens.
Yeah,
or recording you is what they should do.
Yeah, I've got some good recordings of Eggroll singing.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be a 008 soundtrack.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be awesome.
It'd be all Eggroll.
I can see the cover of the album now. Drunken Eggroll sings.
Oh, yes.
One.
With a sombrero and a poncho.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, guys.
Cool,
well, I think we've about covered it all for the official first roundtable discussion. I still don't know what I'm calling this series yet. We had a bunch of ideas the other day, so I'm not going to say any name. But I do want to say thank you for coming on. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being the leadership team and handling all of the business over there. I do appreciate it. I know the pay sucks. I know.
Wait, some people are getting paid?
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. Now you get all the glitz and glamour that comes with it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, glitz and glamour. And
I got my 008 belt buckle in the mail. It's all good.
I've even been asked by one member how to approach women. I thought that was quite amusing.
Because we're in Battlelog chat on a Friday and Saturday night. We would be the ones to ask, right?
Oh, exactly.
Sure.
You would be
leaders. We got to know everything, right?
I get asked.
Apparently so.
It's you'll see as your channel grows. It's crazy.
I hope so. I like the crazy.
But it is, but you feel bad almost. Like if he's asking me this, who else does he ask this? How bad must it be if he's turning to me for this type of advice?
His driver, his dentist, his proctologist. He's asked everyone, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm well on the phone pole. I hope I am. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'm gonna hit stop on the recording. But again, just thanks a lot for doing this for me. I hope everybody likes it. Again, guys, if you enjoy it, like it, favorite, retweet it, whatever. Clappy, I do want to add, I'll have overlays in the beginning and whatnot. And Clappy does have a channel. The other two guys do not yet. Once Agent Eggroll's recording contract goes big, he might have one himself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go check out Clappy. He's got some of the competitive footage over there, and you can check it out over there. All right, thanks a lot.